Good evening, Daryl and Danielle here. We are going to do our first fruit and wine pairing cooking demo. And I believe tonight you are going to be making a healthy version of chicken fried rice.
Yep.
And the wine that we will be pairing will be a nice rosé from Fieldhouse. And I'll let Daryl take it away.
Okay, this is just like the quick and dirty fried rice. I'm not going to add the peas and the carrots and all that. What I'm going to I am going to use is riced cauliflower for the rice. So you get rid of all those rice carbs. So all I'm going to do is I use avocado oil. There's going to be 2 pans. One I'm going to get the chicken going. One I'm going to get the rice going. The rice takes a little while to cook. So what I'm going to do here is get the onions going first. It's Danielle's favorite part.
It's not my favorite part, but you're trying to get me to eat healthier, and so
we're just going to kind of caramelize them onions up a little bit, get the sweet going. I'm using just frozen, already done up cauliflower rice. We've been using it for quite a while now. And I love it. I like it better than regular rice. And there's the other thing I got 2 of those smart chicken breasts. I just diced them up into dices, and I'm gonna run that one separately, and I'll show you why. Because you don't have this big stir fry thing going on, so it's just 2 chicken breasts diced up. Never cross contaminate. Whatever goes in with a raw chicken is set aside. So this we're just gonna cook it down. And now that we got the onions pretty much going, real easy. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper to the chicken. Let that cook. Onions are cooked. Now I'm going to dump in the cauliflower rice. Now it's frozen and it's a vegetable.
You need to cook it from frozen, or can you unthaw it?
Yeah, it kind of stays better. I mean, some thawed ain't too bad, but so here's the thing too is it takes a while to cook down, and it is a vegetable. It's got a lot of moisture in it. Just take the frozen chunks, break them up. So all I'm doing, I had a little avocado oil at the bottom of each pan. Alright. So while these are cooking down, and that'll take a little bit, we'll talk a little bit about the wine pairing. A sparkling wine, a dry sparkling wine, is the most flexible pair because it'll pretty much go with anything. I mean, you can actually pair it with a steak. You can pair it with seafood. It's flexible. A rosé is probably your second most flexible pair because it kind of goes, and it's my opinion, it goes with everything besides a steak. So because it's how they make a rosé, sometimes they mix red and white together, maybe cheaper ones, but good rosés are made with, so all grapes squeezed produce the same color juice. Red wine is aged for a while with the skins. Skins bring the tannins and bring the red color. A rosé is just the same thing, but with less time. So by being a red-white blend, kind of being of sorts, it does lend itself to be very flexible, to be paired with a lot of different things. And I always say anything besides a good steak. So in this case, we'll be doing chicken fried rice.
Can you explain to me why anything besides a steak?
The steak is that one heavy dinner that, that one thing that just goes with a cab. And some people will do a Merlot with a steak, but I would do a Merlot with a beef burgundy or something. Still, cabs and steaks are that side-by-side dish. Just like a good white wine and a seafood or fish dish. It's just those standard, perfect pairs. So we're going to get the cauliflower rice. We're going to really try to get a good cooking in on this stuff. Again, it's a wet veggie. The chicken take a little while to cook down. Let's taste the wine. So I give it a little swirl, a little sniff. That's a very good. That Mendocino region really produces a lot of really nice rosés, and California is known for the Cabernet Sauvignon, but I think their rosés and their Chardonnays are right up behind it as far as some of their signature wines. So now I'm going to season the chicken a little bit. Sesame oil is a wonderful seasoning, and it's treated as such. Just a little bit. That was literally a teaspoon or so. I'm not in it for the oil of it. That's what I have the avocado in. I'm there for the flavor. A little more pepper. Pepper and garlic being your main flavoring in soy sauce and sesame oil. Chicken's looking good. I'm not going for really small pieces. I don't do a traditional, like finely sliced. So we're still just cooking the rice down. This is just shredded cauliflower. I bought whole cauliflower and ran it through basically the food processor setting of cheese grating. It comes out the same. I always have one metal colander for meat. Hot meat. So what I'm going to do is drain the chicken. Just a dash because it'll probably be still pretty wet.
What did you just add?
Just a dash of oil, a little bit of avocado oil. I only own 3 kinds of oil. avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, and sesame oil.
Will you add more sesame oil when you put it back in the pan?
Yes, because that's a seasoning.
Okay.
It's not an oil. It's if you smell the bottle, you'd be like, ah, that's fried rice. So what I'm doing is I'm just draining the chicken. Even this is like that all natural smart chicken. There's still that added water in chicken that I want to try to get rid of. So it's starting to get, now the rice is getting sort of dried out and kind of where it's getting that the actual texture of rice. Now it'll start sticking because, so right when it gets kind of that dried out is when I start doing the soy sauce. I always use low sodium soy sauce, partially for it's better, but also I want to be the one that adds the salt. I don't want to add a bunch of salty stuff to it. I'm going to control the salt. So I get unsalted butter and low sodium.
I see you add that. So, because this is a vegetable and there's already a lot of water,
Yep.
you know, when you're cooking rice, you usually will, to stop the cooking process, right? You put it in like you did with the chicken and put some water on it.
Sure.
I'm
If
assuming because it already has the water that you're
Yeah.
not doing that. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was cooking fried rice using real rice, I would cook the rice the day before, rinse it off in a colander, get all the glutens away, which is what makes the clumps, or which makes sushi. So on this one, I don't have to worry about that. I can get right into just cooking with it. But you're right, though. There is that. So the water that was naturally occurred in the plant has now disintegrated or evaporated, and now we're down to just the rice. And I added the soy sauce, and it's like light brown now. We know we're going to add more to it. The chicken's probably good. And I'm going to bring that down to low. So now is when we're going to start cooking up rice. So now I've soy sauced it. Now I'm going to add the seasoning. The flavor of fried rice is sesame oil. That was probably, sorry, I'm not a measurer. I would say that was probably a teaspoon. Now I'm going to add garlic. I think I have garlic in every form that it comes in. Whole clove, cloved but peeled. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of garlic in because you can. So now that oil's cooking down. Really, this wasn't. Okay, so now I think you use a little bit more pepper than you think you would.
Not too much.
Because pepper is the flavor of fried rice along with garlic. Alright, so now we're at the point where by doing the old pan flip, I'm helping flip it in on itself. Give it a little more sauce. Again, that's probably just going across, coating it. So it's at this time
When do you add the eggs?
that are already cooked chicken. It's going to go in. And now we're going to prep the eggs. a dash. Now we're gonna Mama taught me how to beat eggs as a kid. Make circles. Take a fork, make circles. Alright. So, in the other pan, I like to make the eggs. Now this is starting. So this is a lot more chicken than you get at like a chicken fried rice meal. That's because I'm making it for us for dinner, here with the wine. Now we're starting to get that. Now here's where you can add ginger. Now the one thing that I'm gonna, if you ever go to Japanese cooking where they cook in front of you and you get the one thing they add margarine, which is roadies. But I'm gonna add a tablespoon of butter. This is really where you get your browning from. This and soy sauce, obviously, but and at the same time, yeah, I tend to make eggs more medium rare when I'm making them for breakfast. This you just have to remember to kind of cook them well done, ish. So then I do them separately just because in the pan it'll just help be the glue. You always want to do it separately. So what I'm going to do is just start dicing it up in the pan. Add it to it. So this is more of the house dinnered version of chicken fried rice. Obviously a lot more chicken.
High in protein.
A lot more eggs.
High
I
in
didn't add the
protein.
veggies because that's just a formality. They just do it for color. And Danielle's not a huge fan. Alright, so then what I do always, because I don't measure, I am gonna taste a little rice. Needs a little pepper.
And your wife never said no to any more
And
sesame
soy
oil.
sauce. And so we have a healthy, lower in carbs. I think cauliflower does have a little carb in it, but carb free, but at least there's some nutrients there. Heavy on the chicken. So I'll serve this, and then we'll also use some of it for leftovers. So that is quick and dirty fried rice.
Alright, so let's dig in.
Chicken's tender. Rice is good.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect seasoning.
So the chicken has that light season. Now I probably would have added more soy sauce, but I'm always trying to make it a little bit lighter. Try not to get.
I like it. For me,
Mm-hmm.
I would add this more sesame.
Yeah, and it's got the right amount of sesame in it. Sesame.
I just like sesame,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my personal opinion.
Sesame oil is that one. If you just open the bottle and smell it, you're like, that's an Asian stir fry. Now here's something that's definitely different than a restaurant. Have you ever had white meat chicken in a Chinese restaurant? Very few dishes that I can think of.
Wow. So, this taste, well, I mean, I was sipping on it while we were cooking. Completely different.
Yeah.
Now that we have this paired together.
I agree. And Asian food and rosés are.
I always liked it, but wow.
That's really
I
good.
can't even. I wish I had the palate you did to be able to say, this is what I taste.
Well,
And I'm getting there.
you are. Actually,
But-
you have the palate. It's just being
don't
able
know.
to explain it.
Yes, I would agree.
In fact, you have the most powerful palate there is. And you really do. I mean, that's one of the reasons why strong foods get you. But you can eat really hot stuff because you have the palate.
Yeah.
The stuff that you've tried I've been, wow. So in this, so there's something about the Californian rosé that always gives you that. There's the white wine back taste, fruit forward, yet there's that subtle dryness of being related to reds or made from reds. I don't know if you can read on the bottle if it says what grapes it's made with.
Hold on.
But it's a very smooth. So what you're tasting is
No, this is just.
the sesame flavors.
Actually, it's 80% Zinfandel, 15% Shiraz, and 5% Greenwich?
Grenache.
Grenache.
Grenache. So that's a really good mix. And Zinfandel from California, which is one of my favorite grapes that I always forget about. I always seem to... Where did we just have a Zinfandel at?
You had it at Cooper's Hawk.
Cooper's Hawk. So that was a real good Zinfandel. They say Zinfandel is the California wine. That's one of them. But they did the DNA on it and found it was like a Croatian origin from however many hundred years ago. But regardless, wherever it's from, California owns Zinfandel, which has nothing to do with white Zinfandel. There is no such thing as a green grape called a Zinfandel. There is no white Zinfandel. That was invented wine. But Zinfandel is a great mix in here. And I think that the Grenache probably helps too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really getting the really good... I think when you taste the two together, the sesame flavoring, that's the main driving force behind, let's face it, every Chinese dish. But also... it's fried rice. fried rice is sesame. And I can get the complexity of the taste from the wine. Yeah, that's a phenomenal pairing. But that's how easy pairing is. And sometimes I don't know it and I have to go look it up online or whatever. But if you always have rosés and dry sparkling wines on hand, you can use sweet, like you can use a prosecco, but then it limits you with what you can pair with. But those two are always your best bet for the pairing.
And thank you for joining us. We're gonna finish our dinner, and we will see you next week.
Bon appetit, and
cheers.
Cheers.
And here's to Wine Wednesday. Bye now.